Humans are no strangers to war. After all, we've been fighting for as long as we can remember. War is all we know. In the past, we fought for emulsion. We fought for country. We fought for freedom. But all that changed after E-Day. For 15 years, we've been fighting for our very survival against inhuman, genocidal monsters. But it is a fight we cannot continue. Humanity faces extinction unless we end this war now.
So why land down, Sergeant? Why not just drill down here?
Jacinto's the one place it can't dig through, and land down's a perfect spot to hit them on their own turf.
Heard there's a shitload of grubs there, Sergeant.
More like 10 shitloads.
We had hoped the light mass bombing would decimate the Locust Horde. But they survived, and have returned stronger than ever. They've brought with them a force that can sink entire cities. Even Jacinto, our last beacon of hope through all these dark days, is now at risk. Soon we'll have nothing left to defend. And that means we have only one option. Attack. Gears, what I ask of you now is not an easy thing, but it is necessary. If we are to survive, if we are to live long enough to see the seasons pass, our children grow, and experience a time of peace that we have never known, we must now take this fight to the Locust. We will go to where they live and where they breed, and we will destroy them. This is the day we take the battle to the heart of the enemy. This is the day that we correct the course of human history. This is the day we ensure our survival as a species. Soldiers of the Cog, my fellow Gears, go forth and bring back the hope of humanity!
Welcome to the big sock, Sergeant Phoenix. You ready to hit the road? You know it. Well, let's go chunk some bullets at them grubs.
I'm leaving a note here for all of you who were here watching this video. Which, first of all, I appreciate you if you all. I've put a ridiculous amount of time into this video, so I do appreciate that. But before we get into everything, I just want to let you all know we had some audio issues with this video for whatever reason. I don't know why, but like my audio did not sit over everything the way it was supposed to, so I'm kind of quiet. I'm gonna try to figure that out for the next one. But this is the take that I loved the most that I got of this video. I've been working on this for a good long while, and I'm happy that it's finally out. So I just want to let you all know that before we stop into or get into everything. So I'm gonna shut up now, and you all are gonna watch this. All right. I love you all. Later. What is going on, all you little oddballs? It is your boy Torboy back at it again today with a new video, and today is a video that I have been working on for a good long while now. This is the video where I'm going to talk a lot about Gears of War 2, and I have been really excited to get this video out because this is personally one of my favorite games ever made. I truly cannot talk about just how much I love Gears 2 without nerding out a little bit, so there is going to be quite a bit of that in this video, but we are going to talk about kind of everything with Gears of War 2, and let's just go ahead and hop into this because there is a big talking point that I'm going to start even before Gears of War 2 got released, which is the marketing and the anticipation for this game. Now, for those that don't know, the original Gears of War came out in 2006, and it was a massive hit on the 360. I would say this is like a 360 flagship title. It was a game that I feel like got a lot of people into buying a 360. It was so unique, it was different, it was a awesome cover shooter that was gory, it was badass, and it was everything that I would want in a game at that time for sure. It upped the ante for what we could expect in a game in a lot of ways in terms of its combat, its characters, and its overall just feel and atmosphere. Now with Gears of War 2, we see it take a shift. Now, not a major shift. It still feels like Gears of War. It still looks like Gears of War, and it has everything that we expect in the series up to that point. And with the marketing, we got that. With the first trailer of you seeing all of Delta Squad going into the grind lifts, hitting the hollows, and then of course all the other marketing leading up to it, we kind of had an idea of what we were going to get. One, we are going to go to where the locusts are from. We're going to be underground for a majority of this game. But you also can tell by a lot of the characters in these trailers and everything that we got that there is a different dynamic. You can kind of get a feeling that this game might be a little bit more emotional, which for sure it is. You can tell that it's going to be a little bit different from the original Gears of War, that they may open up these characters a little bit more than what we got in the original game. With Gears of War 1, I kind of see as like a bit of a blueprint. Like, it kind of gives you an idea of every single character, it gives you an idea of what the Locusts are, and it tells a really good story. Gears of War 2 takes that and ups the ante a lot with where it goes in terms of its story, which of course is going to be one of the major talking points of the game. But also, whenever we actually got the game, we noticed there were some also like gameplay changes. We had things come in like executions, but we also had like new weapons. The movement felt a lot more like stable and crisp, I think is the best way I could think to describe it. The characters still have the weight to them that you would expect because, I mean, the armor that they're running around in is pretty damn bulky, and I would expect my character to have some weight, and you do feel that whenever you hit cover and you kind of feel the shock of the character, the oomph of that like armor hitting a wall is definitely something that I think this game nails in a lot of ways. But also we get things like new weapons as well, like the Mulcher, the Mortar, a different version of the Hammer Burst than what we had in Gears of War 1. Instead of being the 3-round burst, little assault rifle that we knew it as in Gears 1, it becomes a more robust kind of full auto but also single fire AR. Has like a lot of range to it, hits pretty hard compared to the Lancer, but of course it doesn't have like the chainsaw attachment on it. It becomes more of a unique weapon, and I feel like it kind of outfits itself better in the sandbox in this way. We also get some new grenades with the ink grenade. We get the Gorgon pistol and a couple of other things, well, like the Scorcher flamethrower, of course. I feel like they just more round out the sandbox. They take the things that were missing from Gears 1 that allow for different gameplay dynamics in both terms of its campaign, horde mode, and multiplayer, and kind of just up the ante with the sandbox. There's new things to use, there's new things to get accustomed to and figure out the weak points and the strong points of each individual weapon. And overall, I think those gameplay improvements are absolutely phenomenal. And in the next Gears of War video I'll be doing, which is for Gears 3, it gets up even more, but we're going to wait to talk about that whenever that game comes around to us doing that video. Now, of course, talking about the story, which I think is one of Gears of War's most important parts. I feel like if Gears doesn't have a good story, it kind of falls a little flat. Because Gears of War is, at its heart, a very campaign-based game. Like, yes, there is multiplayer to Gears and everything, but the campaign, I think, should always be the forefront of these games because the campaign is genuinely the story of Gears is just one of my favorites. Okay, I cannot state that enough. Like, if you all have been around for my content for a while, you would know I'm a big Halo guy, but Gears of War was truly like my first love of a game. I remember when I had played Halo, you know, before Gears of War. I didn't have an Xbox though. I had to go over to my cousin's house to play it. Gears of War was, you know, right as I got my 360, was the first game that I played, and I was like, this is phenomenal. This is what I want. Like, this is a perfect game. Mind you, I was a very young child at the time, so maybe I shouldn't have been playing Gears of War. But something about it just, it latched on to me, like, right out the gate. And it's still something to this day that, like, I realize, like, yes, I love Halo, yes, I love other games, but Gears of War is truly, like, what I look at as, this was the game that got me into it. With the story of Gears 1, like I said, it kind of felt like a blueprint. You get introduced to all the characters, you get an idea of who they are, what they're about, etc. But Gears 2 really opens that up a lot. You see a change in dynamic between all of them. You know, whenever we meet Barrett and Cole in Gears 1, there seems to be like some type of like a little bit of weird tension between the group. But in Gears 2, you see them get a lot closer. It feels like you're with a group of friends that just happen to be in the same squad in this insane war that is going on. Of course, Marcus still takes his typical leader role of being the leader of Delta Squad, but you see Dom change quite a bit with the loss of his wife and children, and him on the hunt for his wife Maria throughout the story, which we will of course dive into in just a little bit. But I do think this whole dynamic between Marcus and Dom really shows a lot in the first cutscene we get from them, or not really the first cutscene, but it's in the first act of the game. It's after you take out a bunch of locusts at Jacinto Hospital, and I feel like this dynamic just gets shown a lot. So I am going to play this cutscene here.
Never seen the locusts run like this. Running away won't help! I'll just shoot you in your asses!
You are pissed today.
Damn right. I missed my family. I'll kill every one of these bastards.
Nice work, Delta. And Rook, Carmine, you did good.
Well, thanks, Sergeant Phoenix.
Control, this is Delta. Enemy threat eliminated. Over.
Copy that, Delta.
Everything okay on your end?
Yeah, it was close, but I got out in time.
What'd you find?
I...
Tell me, Anya. Don't bullshit me.
The Jane Doe I mentioned, she fits the description, but... Well, looks like she was released a few days ago. We don't have any info after that.
There's gotta be another lead or something, right?
I'm sorry, Dom. That's it. I'm sorry.
Damn it! Not again! I've lost her again! Ah! God damn it!
Copy that, Anya. Delta out. Dom, you okay?
Just... I'll catch up with you in a sec, Marcus. All right?
Yeah. Whatever you need. Guys, let's go.
Not again.
Now, of course, after that cutscene, I feel like it sets a tone for the game. It sets where Dom is mentally, and you do see Marcus definitely have a bit of a worried side to him, which is not something we really seen from Marcus in Gears 1. We just knew Marcus as this badass character who would do anything to win the war. And I feel like seeing this like more emotional side of his character, how he reacts to Dom in this environment and in this state that he is in, is just really, really unique. And as a whole, I feel like that's kind of the whole take on this game. It has a unique feel that we hadn't got yet. Now, of course, if you've played the rest of the series, because I would expect most of you to have at this point, you would know that like they do kind of dive back into these themes in the other games, some more than others. But for someone who played this on the day that it came out after playing Gears 1 for all the time that I did, it was definitely a shift, and it wasn't something I was expecting, but it's something that I really, really liked about Gears 2. It's something that I was like, okay, this is kind of a necessary because it shows the dichotomy between them fighting and who they really are as individuals, and I really, really like that dichotomy in this story. I think it's something that is just so well done. It takes, everything that we had and just amplifies it. It shows you truly who these characters are. Well, like I said with Gears 1, it feels like you kind of get a blueprint, but Gears 2 is like, hey, we're going to teach you a lot more about these characters. And that even dives into the Locust as well, because with the introduction of the New Hope facility and learning, like, oh, this is how the Locusts were made, in a way. Like, this is where all this testing happened with Emulsion and children, etc. It is a very somber and sad part of the game, but it gives you a lot of highlights as to what the Locusts are, where they come from, and then of course you go into Mount Kadar, you go to the Nexus, and you learn so much more about them. And honestly, to a degree, it's one of my favorite parts about Gears is kind of learning what the Locusts are about, and you kind of do get an understanding of why they don't like humanity. Why are they doing what they did? And of course, that gets shown even more because you get to see a little bit of the Locust and Lambent War, which if you've never read like the Gears comics or books, you probably don't know too much about that. You probably should go look up on it. It's a really cool story, and it kind of shows why the Locusts were so desperate to get out of the Hollows, and also shows a lot of their hatred towards humanity as a whole. Which, I mean, hey, I get it, man. If somebody took me as a child and said, "Hey, we're gonna inject you with a bunch of stuff, it's probably gonna kill you," but like get over it, like, hey, that's just your problem. Hey, it happens, you know. You gotta accept your fate. I'd probably be pretty mad too, if I'm gonna be completely honest with you all. I don't think I'd be the happiest little individual in the room. I'd be a little bit pissed off. But going through that whole section and learning about the Locust, it really does open up a lot of story beats in the game. You see how Marcus interacts with the Queen. You get to see how the Delta Squad really feels about the Locust. They don't really fuck with them too much. They aren't really big fans of these guys. And I would say one of the most iconic scenes in all of that is definitely the part where Cole takes the microphone for the intercom in the Locust Stronghold and lets it be known how he really feels, which you all will be seeing right here.
Check this out. Looks like what the Queen keeps yapping about.
So we know they're trying to sink Jacinto. It sounds like it'll flood the Hollow. Why would they do that?
They're desperate. All this time, we never realized that. Jack, plug in and see what you can find.
We cannot allow the Lamberts to pollute the surface. We must bury their infection here. The world is rightfully ours.
Delta Squad is in your house, bitch! You hear that shit? Your grubby ass bitches are going down! Like way down! Dead down! So down you ain't gonna know which way is up! Your ass is gonna be quiet till your skink ass queen! Oh, mommy, you let the bad man hurt us! Fuck you! We gonna whoop your mama's ass! Whoa!
There we go. One muscled queen. Not you, her. You were great. I loved your speech there, especially with the bitch-ass stuff. Very good, very enlightening.
Jack, anything?
There appears to be only one way to end this war. I fear the cost may be too great.
Marcus, is that who I think it is?
I think so.
If we were to sink Jacinto, it would flood the Hollow with seawater. Nothing below would survive. We could end the war today, but only if we sacrifice our last possible refuge.
Who's that talking?
Adam Phoenix.
It's my father.
What? But what's he doing in the Locust computers?
We'll figure that out later. Look, my father and the Locust Queen are saying the same thing. It's just a matter of timing. We need to sink Jacinto before the Locusts leave, not after.
Can we even do that?
Marcus, I know it's your dad and all, but listen to what you're saying.
Consider it a backup plan if we can't get to the Queen. Jack, see if you can send the data back to command. Tell them we found another way to put the Locusts down for good. Keep moving, Delta.
And I think that scene's just also really funny, but also a really interesting scene because right before that, we see a transmission from Adam Phoenix that he had basically left behind that the Locusts now have a hold of, and they don't really know how they have a hold of this. And you see it in Marcus's and Dom's reaction of knowing that this is his father, the person that he went to prison for because he disobeyed orders to try and save him. And it is a really interesting point and kind of sets up for the future of Gears of War, of what was known about the Locusts before they surfaced. Did anyone know that they exist? And it does kind of set the precipice in your mind that, oh, people knew about this before it happened. Like, this could have been avoided in a lot of ways, and I think that does set an overall tone towards the war in a lot of ways that, of course, only the COG knows about, including, like, the New Hope facility. This is a classified thing that no one else knew about, that only the chairmen were allowed to know of what had happened, which kind of gives the precipice of, oh, the COG are not as innocent as we think they are. Like, we are the good guys, but, like, the people above the COG army are not the greatest individuals. They have done a lot of fucked up things in this world that have led to, well, where the world is now. And it's really sad. It's very just like kind of depressing, but it also feels like a bit of a commentary in real life as well, which is something that, of course, as I've got older, I've noticed a lot, where I'm like, oh, games really were like kind of a commentary on things that were actually happening, and you probably don't realize that till you're older, but whenever you do, you're like, oh shit, like this is sad. Like, I'm not just badass soldier number one. Like, I'm a tool in the machine of things that could have been avoided had the people that are supposed to protect us actually did so. It's really interesting. It's something that I actually have grown to love a lot about this game. It opens up that side of the like talking points in this game. Well, I won't say this whole game is like a monologue to social issues. It's definitely a part of it, and I think it's a really interesting topic to see. You know, whenever people find out what war is about, what they are fighting for, it will change those individuals in some way, and we see that. Now, of course, this does not take away from the fact that they definitely want to kill the Locust in any way, shape, or form. Like, they don't want to die to them. You know, they want to see a conclusion. They want to be the ones that, you know, come out on top and save humanity. And I think that's a really cool point with the COG. While, yeah, these soldiers may learn things that they wish they would have never known to some degree, it does not take away from the fact that they are truly fighting for one another. And we do see that, especially in the aspects when you are finally leaving the Hollow, I think is really, really interesting, because you see, you know, Marcus, Dom, Delta Squad, Cole, Baird, saving other gears on the way. There's a part where you're flying on a reefer and you stop to save these gears and to, you know, basically tell them, get the hell out of here. Like, we can't be here. You're going to die if you were here. And I think that's a really interesting point. It shows a lot of the care in these characters. Now, besides the story, the actual gameplay for the campaign is absolutely phenomenal. It is so well done. It is so well paced. You know, you start off at Jacinto Hospital. You get to either train the Rook, aka Benjamin Carmine, or leave him up to his own demise, which does kind of unfortunately happen for Carmine. RIP my goat. I love you, Benjamin. You're awesome. But besides that, you start there, you then make your way to land down on the assault derricks, where you get introduced to another character as well. He's known as Dizzy, who is one of my favorite characters in the Gears series, and unfortunately I don't know if we'll ever get to see him again in the Gears series, but he is one of my favorite characters. Absolutely just love him. He is the kind of like Cole in a way, but when Cole's not there, he's like the comedic relief character. He is the person who, yes, does take this seriously, but he is going to crack jokes, make silly little goofy comments and stuff like that. And then, of course, we also fight side by side with a character we meet at the beginning of the game, known as Ty Kaliso, who is also just a badass warrior. He is a unfathomable force, and unfortunately, he doesn't make it either, which is a very interesting point in what I'm going to lead to of the second part of the gameplay, where you end up underground. You were in the Hollows, fighting the Locust on their home turf, like where they are from, where they are coming from. You go and fight them at their home. You no longer have the advantage of knowing your home and where you will be to fight them. It is, we are where they are from. We are now on alert, and we get to learn a lot about the Locust in here, about like what they eat, for example, aka the rockworms. These big old worms that they chop up and eat, and that's kind of fucked up, because those worms really don't do much. But the Locust like, we got to eat something, and so we're gonna eat you. So rest in peace, worms. I fuck with you all though. You all are cool to me. I'm not gonna eat you. Okay, I'm a person. I'm not gonna eat a worm. I fuck with worms. I think worms are pretty dope. But we do learn things like that. We also get to learn about the Cantus as well, which are kind of the Locust religious figures in a lot of ways. They are the ones who teach the Trinity of Worms religion, which, if you all do not know, is the Locust religion in Gears of War. And they have a really interesting kind of aspect to the gameplay, with their ability to revive downed enemies by doing their chance screams, whatever the hell you want to call it. They are able to do those and revive enemies on the battlefield, which definitely make harder difficulties a lot more difficult. But also they add a interesting dynamic to the gameplay because of how they interact with the environment. They don't take a lot of cover. They kind of, well, they'll roll around, but also kind of engage you in different ways. Like, they are very much like a forefront enemy. When they want to come and be aggressive to you, they will do so. And I think that makes an interesting like gameplay loop. They also have the ink grenades and the Gorgon pistol. And with the ink grenades, they're able to flush out certain areas, so they will throw a ink grenade and you can no longer get over there without taking a substantial amount of damage if you get stuck in it. But also, they're able to call in things like tickers, which then flush you out of cover, because tickers will just blow up in your face. And then also, like I said, they have the Gorgon pistol, which is a burst fire pistol in the game, and that thing does quite a bit of damage. Like when you get hit by that thing, if all shots land, it hurts you quite a bit. They just add interesting gameplay loop to the game that I think actually does enhance it in a lot of ways. Same with the Tickers as well, which is a new enemy that we get introduced to in Gears of War 2 that I think plays really, really interesting. They are a more, I guess, infantry type enemy. They'll just kind of throw them at you. Not like the wretches per se in Gears 1, where they are hopping up on walls, kind of forcing you to look vertically, or just kind of running at you. Tickers quite literally are, well, they're ticking time bombs. They will just run straight up at you and explode in your face if you let them get too close. So you definitely want to take them out before they do that. And they don't travel in just a pack of one. They travel in packs of a lot. They just keep coming. And if you don't kill a Cantus quick enough and they keep doing those screams, you're going to have to keep dealing with them. And it is a pain in the ass if there's too many of them. We also see a lot of other enemy variants as well, like more variants to the boomers with the mulchers or the grinders, and also the maulers and the butchers as well, which aren't really too difficult. They're just in the hollow or at Nexus is really when you see them. They're kind of a bullet sponge. They kind of just walk at you slowly with a cleaver. But then you have the maulers who have a big ass shield and a flail that is explosive. So whenever you shoot at them from a distance, they will hunker down with their shields, and you can only shoot them in the feet. And once they get too close, they will proceed to charge at you with their flail and whack you with that thing. And trust me, that thing will send you flying. Like, that thing is no joke. That flail will send you to the sky, brother, or kill you, one or the other. And they are, I think, adding some, like, interesting gameplay dynamics with these boomer variants. I think it makes them a lot more fun to fight. In Gears 1, when you're fighting boomers, it kind of becomes an easy, like, feat once you get later into the game and kind of learn how they react. Now, the introduction of the other ones actually make, I think, them a lot more interesting. It shows that there are different types of boomers, like we see with the normal drones. Like with drones, we got just the normal infantry, we got the snipers, we got the grenadiers, we got, the Cyclops, the bolters, etc. But with the boomers in Gears 1, we only had the regular boomers. They were not that interesting. They're just kind of bullet sponges that shoot their boom shot grenade launchers at you. Like, it's kind of about it. That's really all they do. But when you get the mulchers involved that have the mulcher minigun that has a fuckload of ammo and they will just spray at you the entire time, it adds for an interesting, like, kind of dichotomy, because the mulcher, for one, does a lot of damage. It will absolutely shred you if you allow it. But also, it kind of allows you to time your attacks, so there's a point where it does heat up, so you kind of learn when to engage and disengage with them. I think that adds for just an interesting gameplay flow that just doesn't mean you can just keep running at fuckers. It adds that, like, kind of thoughtfulness behind it of, like, well, I can't just run at this guy because he will melt me down. I have to wait for him to engage, overheat, and then I can engage him. And then the maulers add for, hey, I got to use my movement to kind of direct myself around this guy and to make sure I place my shots correctly on them. Because if I let them get too close, I'm going to be, I'm going to pay a price for that. And then, of course, we got the butchers, which, like I said, are kind of just boring. But, like I said earlier, the locusts eat rockworms. The butchers are the ones that kill them. They just take that big cleaver and they cut them up. So it adds, like, kind of a cool little bit of a little look into Locust life underground at Nexus, and I think that's a really interesting thing that they do with that enemy. While they're not the most crazy thing to fight, it does add a little story beat in it that I think is actually super interesting, and I like that it's there, personally. Now, of course, we do get some other drone variants as well, like we get the Bolters, we get the Cyclops, which run around with Lancers, and the Bolters run around with the Boltok pistol. I kind of figured that was kind of entailed with their name. But they do add some other, like, gameplay, uniqueness to them. Of course, with the Cyclops, they have the Lancer, so they can just rush at you and try to chainsaw your ass. So you better be ready for a duel, or you're going to get cut up into bits. The Bolters, I think, are really, really fun to fight, to be honest. Probably one of my favorite Locust variants, not only in their design with their cool helmet, but also I just think they're really fun to fight. They literally just kind of run around really quickly and try to get their shots off with the Boltok, and I think it's actually a really fun dynamic with that Locust type. They kind of remind me a little bit of a Grenadier, but with a pistol that hits a lot harder than a snub pistol. Now, on top of that, we also see things like the Flame Grenadier, and we also have a Flame Boomer variant as well. They kind of play the same in a lot of ways. They both run around with the Scorcher Flamethrower, and yeah, they're going to try to set you on fire. It's about as simple as it goes. But also, they got big tanks on their back, and if you shoot them, they will proceed to just run at you because they know that they're going to die. They will try to blow you up with them. So avoid that at all costs. Now, of course, if you get them in a down state, you can kind of use the little tank on their back. It's a little bit of a a grenade, I guess is the best way to put it. If you get them down and you have another locust around there, shoot them in that tank and it'll blow everybody up. It's just a cool little gameplay dynamic, and they're a pretty fun type of grenadier and boomer to fight. They're just kind of interesting. Like I said, they just got flamethrowers, so don't let them get too close. They will set you on fire, and I don't think that's really a great time. Now, that's kind of talking a bit about the story and the gameplay of Gears 2, which are just phenomenal, and I do love these aspects of this game so much. It is something that, if you've never played Gears 2, go do yourself a favor, because I know a lot of people last year got introduced with Reloaded, which is Gears of War 1. You kind of will see the things that I talk about a little bit as like a little bit, I guess, of my complaints with Gears 1, but it's not really complaints, it's just, hey, this is the first one in the series. If you haven't had a chance to go play Gears 2, if you have the ability to play through Xbox's cloud gaming on PC, which is how I did this personally, or if you do have a 360, do yourself a favor and go play this game. It is so, so good. Go immerse yourself in the story, and I am being serious when I say do that. While I do love Gears of War's co-op experience, I do think experiencing the story by yourself does allow you to get a lot more immersed, and it is so, so, so much fun. It is such a great story. The way the character dynamics work, the way that they interact with each other, I think it really, really does set a precipice with this game that is unmatched by others. And now on top of that, we're going to switch over to some of the other modes for Gears of War before we kind of end things off, because there is a certain little section that I do want to talk about in this video. The next thing we're going to dive into is Horde mode, which is a new mode that they added in Gears 2 that they later expanded on with the rest of the games. Now, this is just your typical wave survival game. I kind of compare Gears 2 Horde mode to like Black Ops 1/World at War Zombies in Call of Duty. It's the first of its kind. It's really basic, but it's really, really fun. If you like survival, horde-based, wave-based combat, you will have a lot of fun with this. It's 50 rounds, and each round gets significantly harder, with every 10 rounds or so being like the boss wave to some degree, which gets later expanded on in Gears 3 and onward. But truly, it is a really, really fun experience. It's something that you can just sit back and play and trying to go through waves, sitting at new highs, trying to beat it, etc. It is a really fun mode. But like I said, it's kind of bare bones and basic. There's not too much to it. It's just exactly what I said. You play it on multiplayer maps, you start the round, and you fight Locust. It's pretty simple. There's nothing crazy to it. And of course, in Gears 3 and onward, we will talk about them a lot more in depth because there is a lot more to them. But that's Horde mode for you, which is a really fun mode in this game. Now, of course, we then lead into the multiplayer of Gears of War 2, which genuinely, I think, is damn near perfect. I think Gears 2 multiplayer just feels really, really good. Now, while I was playing this through cloud gaming, I was not going to put myself through a on-the-line situation with Gears multiplayer. I was like, you know what, I'm just going to kind of play it through bots and see how it feels, and it still feels really, really good. It feels really responsive. The characters, like the way the movement feels, etc. It is just a perfect feeling Gears multiplayer. It's like they took everything from Gears 1 and just made it more balanced. They made the maps better. Like overall, I think it is just a significant improvement compared to Gears 1. And if you didn't get to experience this game's multiplayer in its prime, I am sorry for you. Like, it is truly remarkable how good it is. I know it's a lot of people's favorites. I guess it kind of has what I call the Halo 2 effect. People love the second game in the series multiplayer, just like they do with Halo 2, and I do love that. This game's multiplayer is phenomenal. It's not my personal favorite. My personal favorite might be a little bit of a controversial take, which I will talk about at some point in the future. But hey, that's okay. It's okay to be controversial sometimes. People don't all like everything you like, and that's totally fine. Or maybe it's not controversial, and I'm just overreading this. I'm not 100% sure, but if you haven't played Gears 2 multiplayer and you weren't able to in its prime, I am sorry. It is absolutely phenomenal with the new weapon additions, with how the Gnasher feels, the maps, the modes, etc. And there's a very, very good mode in this game that I don't think has ever came back. Actually, I think it was in Gears 3, maybe, and it hasn't returned since. Winkman is so fucking fun. I love that mode so much. Epic cooked with that, okay? Whoever made that multiplayer mode, you are my godsend, and I love you. It is such a fun mode. It is basically a 2v2, and it is so, so fun. You both play as the same character. You're trying to protect each other, take on every fight that you can, and win the rounds. It is so, so good, and I would kill for it to come back in, like, the next Gears game. If it's an E-Day, I'm going to be a happy little clam, if I'm going to be completely honest. Now that that's over with, though, I want to talk a little bit about the sadness of Gears 2. It is something to me that is really, really important with this game. I said it earlier in the video when talking about the story that there is a lot of somber parts in this game. And they are parts that, to me, really stick out as I have got older. It is specifically, of course, not only the part where Ty dies, but the part where Carmine dies, and where Dom finally finds Maria. It is those parts in this game that I do truly think make this game a not only a masterpiece in terms of how badass it is, but also a game that will make you a bit emotional. A game that will make you feel the loss of loved ones, the people that you care about dying around you. While in Gears 1 we see it a little bit with Kim and Anthony, we don't have a lot of time to really envelop ourselves in these characters. They don't have too much personality. We know a little bit about Kim, which he does get expanded upon, of course, in Gears of War 3 with the Rum Shadow DLC. But Anthony, he's just a Carmine. He doesn't say a lot. You kind of get a little introduction to him. But when it comes to Ben, learning right out the gate that he is the youngest of his brothers, that he is here to fight in the war, and knowing his demise is genuinely just really sad. You see Marcus and Dom's reaction, and even Cole and Bear's reaction, even though they don't really know Benjamin that well, you do see the reaction on their face of them losing him, kind of trying to protect him a little bit more than Anthony, trying to, I guess in a lot of ways step up. And that's kind of how I felt whenever I'm playing this game, and you get introduced to Benjamin. It feels like Marcus and Dom want to kind of take him under their wing and teach him how to be the best soldier possible. And unfortunately, that doesn't get to unfold.
It's Carmine!
Get off me! Get the hell out of me! Sarge?
Carmine.
I hurt, Sarge. Tell my brothers and my mom. Tell them I love them. And
Huh? What the hell is it doing?
Cole, come on, stop pissing it off!
How the hell you gonna tell me what not to shoot in here? Look at this shit!
Oh, that's why. Run!
And then there's the death with Ty. The death with Ty is genuinely, it's heartbreaking. When you get introduced to Ty, you know him as kind of this tank of a soldier. Marcus refers to him as being as strong as a fucking Brumok, that nothing can really take him down. And to see his demise after he is captured by Scourge and is processed by the Locust, it is something that is really, really sad. Like, you find Ty finally, you see that, he had been tortured beyond belief, which is exactly what Locust processing is. It shows you not only how brutal the Locusts are, but also how losing these individuals does truly hurt the characters in this game. You see it in Marcus's reaction. You see it whenever he tells Anya about Ty's passing and how she reacts. It is truly like this emotional beat in the game that you see that, yeah, the Locusts are like vicious creatures, and we kind of see that, but now it's up to the ante. Now we've learned that they are not only capturing people, they are torturing them beyond belief and driving them to, whenever they do get saved, they aren't savable anymore.
Ty? Is that you?
Marcus, we got more Locust on the way!
Ty, let's go! Cole, Bear, cover that door! Carmine, Dom, guard the rear! Ty! No! I told you, they're breaking people! I can hear them screaming from the docks!
I can't believe they did that to Ty. He survives everything.
doesn't he?
Let's just get the hell out of here.
Which leads into the part with Maria with Dom. Throughout Gears 2's story, you know that Dom is trying to find Maria. Once you make it to Nexus, Marcus and him get into a little bit of an argument, which you should be able to see here. I'm pretty sure I saved that cutscene, I think. So here it is.
With that many troops on the move, that's gotta be the highway.
Well, then let's follow him to where the action is.
Wait, Marcus. The old guy said we had to branch off the highway at the dam.
Look. We need to stick to the mission. We have no idea if Maria's down here, and
I need to know. You don't have to go with me, all right?
Damn it. That's just gonna get us both killed. We need to get into the stronghold and activate the beacon. This is it, Dom. This is everything we've been fighting for.
Yeah? Well, Maria's everything I've been fighting for. She's my fucking wife, all right?
So you gonna turn your back on your whole world, then? The other Gears we fought with? All the people who've died?
I'm sorry, Marcus. After what you did for your father, I thought you'd understand.
Oh, hell. Dom, wait up.
And then after that, you go on the hunt for Maria. You have a little stealth section you go through, or you can go in guns blazing. Either one, you get to make your choice. And then after that, you do end up finding Maria. And of course, Dom, in this hallucination state of finally finding his wife, he doesn't see her as she truly is. Until Marcus walks over to him and informs him. And you see Dom's reaction to how his wife, is that she is lifeless. That she had basically had all of her life drained out of her. That she had been processed by the Locust. And Dom has to face the difficult decision to basically put his wife out of her misery. It is a really, really hard scene to watch, and it's kind of hard to talk about in a lot of ways. So I'm going to let the scene play here for you.
Jack, open it up. I can't believe it, Marcus. We finally found her. Maria. Maria.
Dom.
No, baby. No. What did they do to you? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Maria. I tried to find you. God, I did. Please, no. Maria. God damn it, it's me, Dominic. It's Dominic. Marcus, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do, man.
No. It's okay.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Maria. I love you so much.
I'm sorry about Maria, but she's in a better place now. You did what you had to do. I found a way to sneak into Nexus. But if you want to go in guns blazing, I don't blame you.
I want to kill them all.
I think that scene truly does kind of define the characteristics of Gears of War 2. It kind of gives you an insight as to why these soldiers are fighting the way they do. Why they have this hatred towards the Locust, because it hasn't only taken things from them, but those that they care about. And I think that is a really, really interesting part of Gears of War, of showing that these soldiers will fight even after losing it all. And it is truly something that I think is just so, so special about this game, and it is a big reason why I love it so much. This game is just absolutely phenomenal in every single aspect. And like I said earlier, if you have not played Gears of War 2, go do yourself a fucking favor. Go play it. Find a way to play it if you can. I know PlayStation players don't have the accessibility that Xbox players do, and I understand that. If you're on PC, like I said, try it out through cloud gaming, and let me know how you feel down below. This game has been out for over 10 years. If you haven't played it yet, you definitely should. And hopefully you all enjoyed this video. I have put a lot of time into this video, a ridiculous amount of time, honestly. Played through the game 3 separate times. I have recorded this actual thing that you are watching right now. I think this is my 3rd time recording it, because every time it didn't feel right. It's really hard for me to talk about games like this, because I want to nerd out, but I don't want to drag you all along for 4.5 hours of me nerding about a game that I just love so much. But I think in my video, I think I've got everything together of what I wanted to talk about and dive into some of the aspects of a game that I truly do love. Of course, I'm really excited for E-Day. I cannot wait for that game to come out. We are going to be doing a lot of content on E-Day whenever it does release, and I cannot wait for you all to see it whenever it is here and we can play it. And now, of course, this leads me into a bit of a second part, because I've been playing through all the Gears of War games on my own time. Now, I'm not playing on them on the hardest difficulty. I'm just trying to play through them kind of, how's the way I put this? Get the story down and kind of refresh my memory on the things that I want to talk about, take a lot of notes, and then I make these videos. I have had an idea for a bit of a stream series I've thought about doing, where I play through each Gears of War game on its hardest difficulty. So if you all would like to see that, please let me know down below. I would love to. We do stream over here on YouTube, so if you are new here, drop a subscribe, because we do upload quite often here, but also we stream here as well. We play a bunch of different games, whether it's Halo, COD, Gears, single-player games that I might dive into by my lonesome. We play some Marathon, we might hop on some Destiny. We play a bunch of stuff here, so if you all would like to see that content, please subscribe and turn on the little bell notification thingy. And of course, leave this video a like, because I want as many people to see this as possible, because I have put so much time in this. This video has been worked on for like 4 months now. Okay, I have put a ridiculous amount of effort into this, and I want this video to do well, and I cannot wait to see you all, and hopefully see all of you who watched this one when I do the Gears 3 video. Of course, here at this little title card thing, we are going to see a video that I did. It's kind of similar to this not too long ago for Halo Reach, and I do hope you all go and watch it and enjoy it as well. Other than that, I'm going to hop out of here. I love you all, and I will catch you later.
Get us out of here now! All KR units, evac to the surface!
blink of an eye. One event, one unexpected twist of fate, and suddenly the world as you knew it is gone forever.
Anya, can you read me? Anya, come in! Anya!
All that you held dear, all that you held close, is washed away into the sea of distant memory.
I'm sorry, Marcus.
Life is cruel. Of this I have no doubt. But life continues on, with or without you. One can only hope that one leaves behind a lasting legacy. But so often, the legacies that we leave behind are not the ones that we intended.